picks you usually use?
I use extra.
It's heavy.
Do they sell them? I don't even know if they sell them. Fender extra heavy.
別に売ってるかどうかわかんないけど、フェンダーのエキストラヘビを使う。形は同じですか？ Is it the same shape?
Yeah.
大体。
Yeah. Can't really bend them at all.
そういうふうにこう曲がらないんですよね。あ、はい。もらってもいいか。Can you have one?
Yeah.
1枚のピックどのぐらい使うかステージやってる時。何ステージは How long does the one pick last you? How many concerts?
Concert? I like 2 songs.
2曲ぐらいで使い切っちゃうんです。
部屋でもちゃんとギター持ってきて弾いてるの
Do you practice in your room like when you're not on stage?
Yeah. I always have my guitar with me whenever
後でちょっと弾いてもらうと持ってきてるギター。
He's going to ask you about some guitar stuff that he's using that guitar there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
大体持ってて、もういつもなんていうのかな、もう近くに置いてあると。
I mean, I always carry it on the plane and everything, so it's always right.
飛行機だって手荷物としてね、持つね。
噂で日系なんだっていう話を聞いたんだけど、どうなるの？
So I've heard that you have Japanese blood in you. Is that true?
Yeah, my mom's Japanese. She grew up in Osaka.
Yeah.
And she didn't move to the States until she met my father, and that was about 19. I don't know, way back then.
お母さんが日本人で大阪出身で、それでちょうどそのお父さんと結婚する前に渡米したんです。
じゃあ彼は日本に来たの初めてなの？
But this is your first time in Japan, actually?
No, I was here about 5 years ago or so. With my mom, just
family.
Yeah, meeting the family and seeing Tokyo and a mom's tour of Japan.
5年前はね、お母さんと一緒に里帰りを兼ねて日本に来て、それでいろいろとそのお母さんに案内してもらった。
あんまり今までこう生活してきてた環境っていうのは全然日本人とは関係のない周りは白人ばっかり。
But otherwise, you've just been brought up in completely Caucasian American society, though.
Yeah. I grew up in San Diego, and yeah, I can't speak Japanese.
そうですサンディエゴで育ってそれで日本語は一言も喋れない。
で今日本の高崎ってギタリストなんかも向こうウエストコーストでやってるけど、ある程度日本人がそういうふうに来るのは嬉しいから。
There's apparently a guitar player called Takasaki, Japanese guy. Yeah, he's going to the West Coast, having a space there. And do you feel any sort of familiarity with that sort?
What with
like the Japanese going to the West Coast like that? Or it says really doesn't mean it a lot.
Familiarity. I don't know how many people know about Japanese bands. That's a weird question. I mean, I know about them, so I hope people go to see him because I think Akira's a good guitar player. But I'm not sure if that many people know about Japanese bands and know that they're not just Japanese band like an imitation of American bands. This is a pretty good band. He's a real good guitar player, and I hope they do see him. I don't know about the familiarity, but
あの人に限って言えばね、非常にうまいギタリストだし、それでどんどんこうね、そこの地元の人に見てもらいたいという気持ちが、あると。
あんまり時間がないそうなんで、あんまり役なしで。
そうですか。はい。
で、ギターを弾き始めたきっかけっていうのはどんな感じ？
How did you first start playing the guitar?
Well, I started playing piano when I was 6, and I asked my parents if I could start learning piano. They said sure, so they went out and bought a big piano and started giving me lessons. About 2 weeks later, I decided I didn't want to play piano, but they said it's too late for that, you're stuck. So I kept playing piano until I was about 16, and I started hating it by then because they used to make me practice 4 hours a day, every day. And, everybody else is out playing baseball and football and stuff, and you're sitting there playing the piano. I really didn't like the piano too much towards the end there, but I still loved music, and there was a guitar sitting around the house. It was my sister's, and I just picked it up one day and said, yeah, this feels really good. It's a lot more intimate feeling than the piano. But that was about when I was 15.
How old are you right now? How many years is it?
25. It's been 10 years.
Oh, by the way, he told me to cut the translation because it would take too much time, so I'll just translate his questions.
ピアノずっとやってたわけ。
強制的にね、親にやらされた。
ある程度それは役に立ってると思うから。
Do you think that helped you out, though, the training on the piano?
Yeah, definitely. I learned theory and timing. Yeah, because I guess I was supposed to be pretty good at piano. My parents said towards the end there I was taking lessons for, it was $75 for a half hour. And this guy who was supposed to be the best in Southern California.
Is that right?
And I was going to a college theory classes when I was 12 for music, and they were grooming me to be the next Van Cliburn. Yeah, I don't know if you remember Van Cliburn. You do?
Of course.
And they ended up with, I guess, sort of the next Van Halen, sort of. So I don't know how that works out.
ピアニストとしても結構いけてた方だと思うから。
Did you do that? Do you think you were
コンテストとか。
Did you participate in any contests or anything? Or?
Yeah, I did. Competitions for piano. Yeah, Beethoven competition, all that kind of stuff. The marks I usually got is around. It wasn't high scores, but it was better than average scores. It was. They almost always say the same thing. Technically proficient, lacks feeling.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's probably because I did. I wasn't interested in the piano at that time. When I was in the competitions, that was just before I quit. And I wasn't interested in classical anymore. I was just getting really into rock and roll and the guitar, so the piano was just sort of a burden right then.
サンディエゴだったらじゃあエディ・バンヘイレンなんかをもろにこうアマチュア時代からよく知ってたりする。
Did you have a chance to see Eddie Van Halen when he was still well, not amateur, but when they were still known?
No, I heard about him.
Was it right?
Yeah, I heard about him down in LA. I heard about a couple of them. I heard about Carlos Cavazo, White Riot. I heard about him. There's like 2 or 3 guitar players. I can't remember who else, but I remember those 2. And I'd heard rumors of down in San Diego.
カバーゾの話をしてくれますか？カルロス・カバーゾ。
もうちょっとしてもらう。I guess he wants to talk a little more about that Carlos, what is it,
Cavazo
from the Quiet Riot, right?
Yeah, he was in Snow at the time.
Snow?
Yeah.
And did you actually hear a tape of that or just heard the name?
No, I just, like friends would go up there and do like recon missions in LA and bring back news, and I just heard that Carlos and Eddie, God, there's some other guy, another guy that was half Oriental. What was his name? I can't remember his name. He was in a band called Seagull, I think, and I'd heard those 3 guys were the best in LA, so just before I moved up there, I went up there, and Van Halen had already made it by the time I decided to move up, and I saw Carlos and saw the guy in Seagull, and they were good, but they weren't so good that they scared me away from LA, so I decided to move up. I figured if they were the best LA had to offer, then I had a chance.
一番最初にギター弾き始めた頃っていうのはどんなギタリストを聴いてたの？
What kind of guitar players were you first listening to when you first started, at the age of 15?
Ooh, boy, Black Sabbath. Boy, pretty much standard guys. Let me see if I can think of it.
Blackmore.
Yeah, Blackmore, Beck, Cage, Clapton, Hendrix. Other than them, let me see if I can think of some off the wall ones.
Were they all hard rock or heavy metal or rock and roll players? Did you ever listen to any of the fusion crossover?
I got into that later when I was about 19.
Oh, I see.
I got into never could stand Demiola. I can't stand him. McLaughlin was a big influence. In fact, I auditioned for Jerry Goodman's band.
Sure.
Who's a violin player. But they said I was too heavy metal. And
who's playing in that band? He had a couple of pretty high guitar players there. He had a band, it was Goodman, somebody, and somebody. And the guitar player had his name on the top. Goodman, Finnegan, and somebody. I forgot.
Oh, Mike Finnegan?
Yeah, Mike Finnegan.
That's funny. Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know. I didn't keep up with him after I failed the audition, so forget it. But, early guys. Oh, Fogerty. John Fogerty. Yeah, Mark Farner. A lot of these I'm embarrassed to say. Tommy Boland was a real good. See, I'm trying to think off the wall guys. Tommy Boland, John McLaughlin. Those are two big ones for a long time.
でバンドとしてはずっとこうヘビーメタルタイプのサウンドでしたか
But you've been always pretty interested in metal, right?
Yeah. Well, I played in all kinds of bands. I played in a country band when I was 16, 17, because it made real good money on the Navy bases. And that was kind of weird because I was, I had hair like this, and it was older guys. I was 16 or 17. The other guys were about 24, 25. And they looked like country musicians, but they were desperately in need of a guitar player, a lead player, and I just happened to be around. I had one of their brothers was a schoolmate of mine, so I joined their band, and I used to go in these Navy country bars, looking like this, and actually I think the sailors kind of liked me because I had the balls to go in there like this and play their kind of music. But I had to stay on the stage. Everybody else got on a beer break, and I'd be sitting up there on the stage, and I just keep practicing my guitar. But, I was in a disco band for a couple months. Fusion, I was in Fusion for about 2 years.
Was that your friend, the Jerry Goodman thing? You want to do
Fusion. It was after I got back into heavy metal and the Goodman thing came through.
今ラットというバンドでやってるウォーレン・デ・マルティーンなんかと一緒にやったことあるって聞いたけど。
Where did you play with him, the guy in that?
We never played in the same band, but we were roommates for a while. Because when I quit Rat, they called him up out of San Diego, since they're from San Diego too. And he didn't have a place to live, so I just said he could stay at my place for a while. And we, it was about 6-7 months that we were roommates, and we used to sit up and play guitar all night long. Yeah.
彼もまたああいう最近のロサンゼルス近辺に出てきたギタリストの中ですごいけど、やっぱりお互いに何かなんていうんだろう、こう双方の交換みたいなことしたことあるのか。
So you used to pretty much exchange techniques and whatnot then.
Sort of. It was more like him asking me.
Was it really?
Yeah, because he's kind of sneaky. He'd ask me. But then he'd kind of hide all his best licks. I didn't know how good he was until I saw him on stage.
Is that right?
Because, I'd see him practice, and he'd always be practicing things I showed, and I said, well, okay, there's nothing I guess he's got to show me. And then I saw him on stage, and I had all these little things he'd been hiding from me. And by then we weren't roommates anymore, so I couldn't really ask him about it.
最近のあの辺のギタリストっていうのはもうジェイクにしてもそうだけど、ものすごいスピードが速いんだけど、彼らは最初の頃からそれで年も若いでしょ。弾き始めた頃からそういうスピードって自然に身についちゃってるのかな。
So a lot of, like you and a lot of the other guys coming out these days are really speedy, fast guitar players. Have you always been that quick? Or did you develop the speed over the years?
No, I might have even been faster when I was into Fusion, because then it was all fast. It was none of this tasteful stuff. It was just fast and strange scales. I think I mellowed out a bit now, but I was pretty. I had a tape when I was 18, 19. I listened to about a month ago, and I was as fast then as I am now, if not faster.
一応そういうピアノなんかをやってて、じゃあなんていうんだろう、ある程度譜面的にとか、あと理論なんかもそういう時代に 培ったものっていうのが役に立ってるのがそういうフュージョンなんだろうと。
Do you think that your training on the piano there, perhaps scale-wise, helped you out technically afterwards? Like say when you're doing fusion, like you had a very good mind for scales and notes and where to put what.
Dude, even when I was first starting on the guitar, like a lot of those guys used pentatonic scale, and they were really adventurous. They went into Ionian, Dorian, but not too many used Phrygian or things like that. And I knew all these from the piano. I said, why can't you use that? And I kind of started using it.
Well, what guys weren't going into that stuff?
Oh, Farner.
How do you want it?
He was only an influence for a little while. But Fogerty, I mean, some of those guys, Clapton wasn't really into that. Hendrix was, and Beck was. Page to a certain extent was. But most of them depended heavily on the pentatonic and the Dorian. And I liked using some of the other scales. I thought it was pretty cool. But then everybody else started doing it too. I thought I'd be the only one to do it.
それで今、オジーのバンドにいるわけだけど、自分自身でもやっぱりゆくゆくは例えばリーダー的になってバンドやりたいと考えてる。
You're now a supporting member of Ozzy's band, but you ever think of going out on your own in the future and heading your own band?
Sometimes. I mean, Ozzy's retire someday, and that's what he said. And, when he does that, I mean, I plan to stay with this band. But yeah, I mean, when he goes off when he decides semi-retirement, I think is what he was talking about. We just come out every once in a while, and during the time off, I'm not going to just sit around. I'll probably get my own band together. Well, sometimes I don't know if you were last night's show. I didn't think I did too good last night. I wasn't. We gotta apologize there for that. I know I just didn't feel like playing at all. I've been on the road since November. Right, which is what, November, December, 9 months. And last night, I don't know, kind of all sunk in. And I was sitting there playing, just going, how many more songs are left? I just want to get off stage.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, actually there hadn't, but that was probably the first one.
Huh, is that right?
Yeah, it was really scary. But at the end there, I kind of perked up a little bit. But I don't think it'll happen again. Because towards the end there, I was thinking there's all these people paid money and they didn't come to see me contemplate on whether I wanted to keep doing this or not. They came to see a good show. So.
Especially with ticket prices in this country the way they are.
What are the ticket prices?
Probably paid about, what, 4,000 yen, which is, what, 16 bucks?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
やるとしたらやっぱりヘビーメタルタイプのバンドやるつもりなのかな。
If you go off and you're on the head your own band, what kind of music do you think you'd do? Would it be this type or?
Yeah, it'd be pretty close to this. Maybe a little. I hate to say it, pop here. I guess pop here is the word. I don't know. Still really heavy guitar oriented. Still don't like keyboards too much.
Is that right?
Yeah. Maybe not as gothic sounding as this band. Maybe a little more poppy sounding, but not light poppy sounding. And definitely no ballads.
So heavier than Night Ranger, but lighter than Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
maybe.
I wouldn't even say lighter than Ozzy Osbourne, just a little more, not so minorish sounding.
Yeah, right.
オジーのバンドのね、ランディ・ローズがギター弾いてた頃の時代のレパートリーっていうのを彼割とランディのプレイに忠実にやってるようだけど、それはオジーから言われてることなのか。
According to what he can tell from the stage show, you pretty much faithfully follow Randy Rhoads' parts the parts I guess he thought of for the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something Ozzy told you to do, or?
Yeah, in the very beginning, he did say, they came to hear the songs they heard on the record reproduced live. Don't screw around with it too much. I mean, they're pretty close. Like, say, Crazy Train is pretty much note for note, because I just can't think of anything that, I mean, if I did go off into my own thing, it'd just get worse. I mean, it definitely wouldn't be an improvement, not that anything else I do, when I do change this, an improvement, but it might not sound any worse, right? So, yeah, they're pretty close, mainly because I mean, it's a good, I've heard it so many times now that I just can't really think of a better way of doing it. So, if it can't be better, why do it different?
ランディのコピーをするのはそれなりに難しかったの?
Was it tough to get his parts down?
Some of it, our styles aren't that much different, so some of it was not too hard. Some of it was pretty hard. Revelation took me a while to get, and bits of Crazy Train didn't make sense to me for a while. But the main part was like for the audition I did Crazy Train and I Don't Know, and I'd had to learn it the night before the audition, and I was getting confused with those two because they're sort of similar, or they sounded similar to me at first, because they're both in the same key and had the same sort of rhythm and staccato A notes, and they both sort of changed in the same places, like bridge and stuff, and I was getting mixed up. I put this bridge in that song and this chorus in that song, so in that way it was kind of hard. It was more hard doing that, trying to remember exact order of everything than actual bits.
Tapeにとってコピーしたりするわけ?
What do you tape these things and try to copy them from the tape, or like I guess for speed's sake? I don't know why you mentioned tape, but.
どういうやり方ですか? だから例えばオープンのテープにとってスピードを測してみる.
Yeah, like I said, so adjust the speed of the tape, maybe to slow it down, to find.
Oh yeah, I did some of that. I got one of those Walkman Professionals that has the tuning slow. You can make it slower and faster. I used that.
それもっとそういう、ランディのコピーっていうのは結局彼にとって仕事なわけだけど、それ以外に自分のただ趣味的にもまだそういうコピーしたりすることあるのか?
You ever try to copy anybody else that way, outside of Randy Rhoads, and just had your own experimenting around?
When I was in copy bands, I used to, because well, in the very last copy band I was in was when Van Halen just came out, and somebody came up to me, and it was another guitar player, in fact, in San Diego, came up and said, "Yeah, you're pretty good, but I bet you could do Eruption." Right? I said, "Eruption? Oh, okay." So I got the record and I taped it, and I learned. I should have brought the tape. It sounds just like it.
Was it right?
I mean, I got it perfect. Was it right? I labored on it.
You still do now?
But I doubt it. I can't.
He looks over the guitar.
Probably not. That was years ago. But I had it. I remember that was the one that I got. No,
that's impressive.
Just because that guy said I couldn't do it.
There's a lot tougher stuff since, so I think you can be challenged in a lot of other ways.
じゃあちょっとこれギター
He's not going to actually do Eruption, I don't think.
So. Good. Or nothing hard.
Yes. Yeah, he actually signed
So
it.
Ozzy Osbourne.
And I just woke up just before I came down here. So.
Yeah, well, mother, what about that?
なんか昨日見てたらこう左手の親指をこうカポタスみたくしてね弾き方した。
Oh, the hum thing.
Yeah, you know the thing. What was that all about?
Just running. It was just a joke, actually. Just doing that. Yeah. So. Let's see. How do I do it? I can't do it on this guitar.
それやっぱ親指をこう力つけるのに結構苦労したのかな。
Must be rough to keep your thumb in place.
Yeah, well, I think I got a dwarfed thumb or something.
That is really small.
It's a puny thumb,
Tiny.
yeah, but it was Warren that made me do that once, because Warren's got a really good spread like this. He went, huh, you can't do that, can you, Jake? I'm like, sure I can. I went like that, just as a joke, right? And they looked at it and said, that's kind of cool. I said, it is? He said, yeah. So I started working. I used to do chords that way. Let's see. I used to do songs where everything was thumb. I did the lead on the thumb and the chords on the thumb.
So it's already second nature then, the thumb.
Yeah, I should probably delve into it a little more and develop it. So right now it's just sort of like sort of a trick, but I think it could, it definitely helps you reach, like to record. You'd never get that chord in the other way.
How many years have you been doing it now?
Like that was about 2 years.
その他にもなんか自分なりの新しい奏法っていうのはあるのかな。
Have you figured out any other techniques recently that you care to divulge?
Techniques. Let me see. On the album, I did some things that I don't think other people were doing too much. Strange guitar just woke up. Okay. Like on Waiting for Darkness, it sounds like I went and then overdubbed. But I did it both at the same time, so it was two string.
Oh, I see.
Like that. But everybody thinks I just overdubbed.
Oh, I see.
But I don't know if anybody else is doing two string things like that. This works, you have to change around like that. I think the dwarf thumb comes in handy again there.
It's amazing when you have small hands, this thing.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
今のこういう日本にやってるところ写真撮らせてみないかな。
Can you guys get a picture of you doing that two at once?
No, don't use that one. Somebody will try and go, what the heck? Like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
でそのまま指を上げてくれないか。
Now can you raise the hand now?
Which
You can
こう写真にこうやって。
no, just show your fingers to the camera to show how you're fingering.
なるほど。それからものすごくなんだろう、こうネックを曲げたりとかね、あとこの余ってる部分でこういうふうにこういうのとかね、すごい普通だったらこうアームを使ってやるような奏法をものすごく彼はあえていろんなやり方でやってるんだけど、やっぱあえてそうアームを使わないっていう彼のなんていうのポリシーなのかな一つ。
Why did you do stuff like that when you could use an arm? I mean, bend the guitar a little bit. Why can't you just use an arm?
I couldn't afford a guitar with an arm when I first got the Strat. I got the Strat because I wanted to be like Tom Bone, but they had a Strat with an arm and without an arm, and the one without the arm was a lot cheaper. And I didn't have money then either. I ended up working in the store for about 3 months, just so and then they gave me the guitar. But I would have had to work for about another month if I wanted the arm, so couldn't afford one in the beginning. But yeah, that's one. I don't think I've seen.
See, you could hurt your finger doing that though.
For that, but no, you just do like classical harmonics, like that, and you just press it like that. It slips right over this thing. Like that. Stuff like that. I do tune that a lot too, and Or there's the Jayco. Somebody called it that, I didn't.
What's that?
It's a fake echo. It's just a... Stuff like that sounds like an echo.
And it was poor man's guitar.
Yeah. I couldn't afford an echo for a long time, but yeah, I'm going to do echoes now. Let's see. I did that in a song. What was that? What's it called? Yeah, I did that. And everybody thinks I just went and then overdub like that, but it's all. It's all done at once. What else? Oh, the beginning of. Oh, that's it's all downstrokes the way I do that. I don't know.
I don't quite follow you.
Okay, the normal way to arpeggiate would be down, up, down, up.
Right.
And I just went, and then all ups. Down.
What does that do then?
It's a lot quicker than going.
Okay.
That's about as fast as I could go doing
I see.
that. This way though. And stuff like that. We gotta work on them more, but it's a lot quicker to arpeggiate. Just do like that. And, yeah, I do that a lot. I don't know how many other people, but if I was gonna go like that, I just go down and then two up. So like that, and that's quicker than you can do. So I do a lot of downs across the strings like that. Well, that it's a lot quicker than you could do by doing the standard up down.
Unless you're Robert Fripp.
Or Alan Holdsworth. If you're somebody really good. If you want to cheat, I can show you how to cheat.
あとネックを曲げてチューニングをねグーンって落とす時があるんだけど、あれのためにわざとある程度こうネックとボディを緩くジョイントしたりとかいうことあるの？
I'm not quite. I think I know what he's talking about. Apparently you put the whole thing on a rack. You make all the strings go down in tune by bending the guitar a certain way. What's this trick you do?
Might be the one where it's where I go like that, ping that, and then.
Do we watch that?
I see. So cracked one.
So his question is: do you make your guitar? Do you loosen up at the neck? I guess.
No.
Just regular.
No. It depends on where he's talking about. A lot of times, no.
I think you were starting with the one you were just doing there when you bent the guitar.
Oh, yeah, that's just.
Just
live.
You don't set the guitar up in any special way, though.
No, I just ping it. I don't want to do this too far. I don't know
break the guitar.
Yeah, it's got the holes there. It might break off right there. But I do it pretty low. It does sink pretty low on mine because I got a real thin neck. It's thinner than that. Yeah, I think that's how he's talking.
彼もハンバッキングつけてるけど、彼のやつは何をつけてるんですか？ギターのピックアップ。どんな製品をつけてる？
What kind of pickup do you have on your guitar?
Seymour Duncan. I think it's an Alan Holdsworth model. Actually, it's like the JB, Seymour Duncan JB, but it has It has pole pieces on both sides like this. And I think it was a prototype when I got it. I got it from Charlottesville. I think they said it was a prototype of Alan Holdsworth model. It sounds like a JB, a little bit warmer sounding than JB.
59とは違うわけなんだ。
But it's not a 59.
彼は JB と59と比べてどんな違いがあると思う？
How do you think they differ, the JB and the 59?
JB's a little bit, got a little more, oh sorry, a little more top and bottom. 59's really warm and mid-rangey. JB's got a little more bite, a little more oomph, a little bit louder.
前の方につけてるシングルコイルのピックアップは何なの？
How about the single coil you have at the top?
Oh, those are DiMarzio SDS1s.
あれ普通とちょっと斜めにつけてるのあれはジョークなのかな？
What about the one you have on the diagonal? The one you have one stuck on the diagonal?
Oh, both of them are.
Oh. Is the extra, they're both functional?
Yeah. I use that for the mellower stuff usually. I have them slanted so I can get a little more clarity out of the bass strings, a little more warmth out of the treble strings.
でアンプは3台マーシャルあったけどあれは持ってきたやつなのかな？
Did you bring those three Marshalls, the three Marshall amps you were using last night?
I used two of them.
And the others you brought from the States?
Yeah, they're about, I bought them in England, they're about 68, 69, somewhere around there, they're older ones. They've been modified by Jose, the famous Jose. Yeah, he does all of Eddie's amps, and he does Carlos's amps, he does everybody in LA. He modifies them a little bit, he modified them.
古いやつ、このヘッドも。
And the heads are old as well?
Yeah, about 1968, 69.
How
did you get a hold of those amps in the first place?
England.
Oh, that's right. You said you got them in England, but you just walked into a music store and picked them up?
Yeah, they have. They don't like the old amps over there.
Oh, really?
No, they're really cheap. In fact, I got this one real old one. I don't know if anybody knows anything about Marshalls, but it has the old plexiglass logo. Like that's about 1965. And I got that for $75 because it was sitting in the back. I said, "Do you have any Marshalls?" And they showed me all these new ones. I go, "Nah, do you have any old ones?" I said, "Oh, we have that one." I said, "Whoa," because that's like a collector's. I'd never seen one before, and except for
that's why we by the time I got over
and I said, "Oh, well, heck, I'll take that one. How much you want?" I says, well, nobody else wants it. You can have it for $75. So I raped England. When I went through England, I got about 14 Marshalls.
Is that right?
I went there, bought all their old ones, every old one I could find.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Effectはないんですか？
What kind of boxes did you use?
Oh, effects. Roland, Boss Roland, an overdrive, not the super overdrive, just the overdrive, and their CE3 chorus, the flanger, delay pedal, and a 7-band EQ that I punch in for the leads, and I turn it up more, so it's a little bit louder. The leads are louder. I take a little bass out so it'll have a little more clarity in the rhythm.
フランジャーをものすごくよく使ってると思うんだけど、あれはどこのメーカーの？
You mentioned the flanger?
Yeah.
Yeah. What brand is that?
They're all Boss.
All Boss.
Yeah.
小さいやつ。
BF2, I think.
小さいやつ。
That's the tiny one though? Small flanger?
Yeah.
レコーディングの時はミキシングの方のコンソールでかけてる。
I'll go through a lexicon too, which has a lot to do with this sound.
What's that?
Lexicon PCM 40. What is it? 41. PCM 41. And I run it on a 26 millisecond delay in stereo. So one stack comes out 26 milliseconds later than the other, and it gives it a little bit fuller effect.
Is that right?
Especially now that we're 3-piece.
When you're in the studio, you go straight to the console?
No, it's always mic'd up. Pretty much the stage, what I use on the stage.
レコーディングでも全く自分のセットをあとオープニングのバーカートザムーンって曲のちょっとリフをちょっと弾いてほしいんだけど、ダブルバーキング。
Play the backing chords for Bark at the Moon.
すごいコードフォームも普通に例えばコードブックに出ているようなタイプとは違うんだけど、あと開放でもものすごく使ってて、そういうのもいつも研究してるものなのかな。
I guess you assume it's your own development because you seem to use a lot of open chords and whatnot. Or was that what you were told to play? Were you told to play? Were you told to play it that way, or did you develop the open chords yourself?
Open?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean with an open string?
Yeah, the open string.
No, nobody told me to do it. I don't know. I
Just-
saw the chord book. Let's see, how did they say I played? It was like... Yeah.
He's like that in the book, but
Yeah.
that's not the way you do it.
No, it's that. And then the EF, they didn't have any of this on the EF.
So we simplified it.
あと、I don't know のリフも弾いてみてくれないかな。I don't know とか。
How about from I don't know?
さっきのバーク・アット・ザ・ムーン、あれの曲の高音の方の音なんか、あれはディレイで何回も繰り返させてるわけじゃないのかな。
I guess the higher notes in the chorus from Bark at the Moon,
Chorus?
not the higher notes, he says, on the chords.
The chords.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it run through delay or something? Because they sound different, he says.
No.
普通にプレイしてる。
No. Guitar's kind of buried in the mix. That might be.
スノーマンとプロデューサーはものすごく自分でこう機械かけたがったりとかそういう人じゃないのかな。
How about the producer? Was it Max Norman?
Well, he was kind of like an engineer.
Pardon?
He was like, I mean, he's a good engineer, Max Norman, but he's not really a producer.
Oh, but does he like to use a lot of effects himself? Or?
Most of the ideas we come up with, most of the ideas is how we want this to happen here and that type of thing. And he didn't do the final mix.
じゃあもう時間がないんで、じゃあ最後に日本のギターキッズになんかアドバイスを一言。
One last request. What advice would you have for young aspiring Japanese guitar players?
Practice.
Fly Bark at the Moon, No, geez, practice, yeah.
There's no other way with it, it's just hard work. There's no shortcut.
You should only practice if you want to. You shouldn't sit down and force yourself to practice if you don't love it in the first place. There's no sense in doing it.
What shouldn't you? What else shouldn't you do?
Drugs, no drugs.
Girls get in the way. They do.
Girls in moderation.
なんか彼独特の練習方法ってなるのか。
Do you have any special method you do yourself to practice? Any special method of practicing, like 1 or 2 hours a day or something? At a set time?
Well, if I'm not feeling very creative, I turn the TV on and just practice while I'm watching. Like that, because you can still watch TV, because you don't have to think about doing stuff like that. You just, let your fingers do it. And then, obviously, if I feel like working something out or I have something in my head, I'm not watching TV. Well, I do a lot of practicing while I'm watching TV.
Is that right?
ピッチングするときは全然手つけてないの。こういうところとかこういうところとか。
何マフ
そうそうそう。こういうところを押さえてないの。
You don't muffle the strings when you play?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Most of the time, though.
Depends if I want them to really part of the movement. That's that's all muffled down there.
What about when you solo, though?
Solo. Yeah, I did on
そっちの方、この方をつけてる。
I don't know what it's
好き
called.
な時に作る時に僕も
That one I muffled the beginning of.
彼の使ってるストラトなんだけど、トレモノのユニットがついてないわけでしょ。っていうことのなんかメリットってあると思うかな。
Do you think there's any advantage in not having a tremolo on your Strat?
Yeah, sound-wise.
Oh, really?
Because this goes through metal, and on mine it just goes. There's no metal there. It just goes straight through the wood, and the little holes right there. I think it sounds a lot warmer. These sound a lot more treblier to me. The other guitars I have do have these on them, but I just have them blocked off. I don't use them, but yeah, these are a lot thinner, a lot shriller sounding than my white one, which is just going straight through the wood.
I don't quite follow you, though, but this isn't open right here. It's just all surrounded with wood. Is that what you mean?
This isn't, there's nothing cut out. It's just a solid piece of wood right there. It goes like a Telecaster. It just goes straight from there and ends up in a little hole right there through the wood, which is in the wood.
Can you apologise to him for me coming in late?
遅れてすみませんでした。
で、弦はどんなのつけてるの？
What kind of strings do you use?
Whatever's cheap.
Really?
They all sound the same to me,
Is that right?
except for picatos, which don't sound as good. They don't. They sound a lot. They're not as clear sounding, and Dean Markley's, which seem to break a lot more. So there's two companies that never get into
We use GHS on
Right now, yeah, GHS. Whatever happens to be cheapest wherever we are.
それじゃあ、ということで、写真をちょっと。
Alright, we just want to get some pictures now. Well done. Oh, I guess this is signature.
読者 to
Present to the readers, I guess.
That's part of an
She said I'll come and stay.
NADY?
NADY.
Book themselves, I better go over there.